In the next 30 years, the average American dinner plate will look nothing like it does today. Not because of trends, but because of climate. For generations, the United States has been defined by abundance, a nation that could feed itself and much of the world. From the Great Plains to the Central Valley, from orchards to ranch lands, America enjoyed a climate built for food. But beneath the surface of everyday life, a quiet shift is underway. The foods we love, coffee, beef, bread, even fresh vegetables, are quietly disappearing. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but day by day, yield by yield, storm by storm. Heat waves are intensifying, water is running out, seasons are no longer reliable, and the crops and livestock we depend on are feeling the strain. Tonight, over the next 2 hours, we explore a question that will define the future. What will Americans eat in a world reshaped by climate change? This is the story of farmers fighting impossible odds, scientists engineering tomorrow's crops, innovators reinventing protein itself, and families adapting to a new reality at the dinner table. This is the story of what comes next. For over a century, the United States has been the world's breadbasket. But climate models show a future where familiar crops face unprecedented stress. Corn, America's largest crop, loses yield when nighttime summer temperatures rise just a few degrees. Wheat struggles with unpredictable rainfall. Soybeans face pests migrating northward, thriving in warmer conditions. Farmers describe a growing sense of instability, not just hotter summers, but winters that freeze unexpectedly, springs that start too early, and storms that come with a force once considered unthinkable. The agricultural system built for yesterday's climate is approaching its limits. Some foods are becoming more difficult to grow. Others are approaching a tipping point. Almonds, once a billion-dollar industry in California, demand enormous water, even as reservoirs shrink. Florida's iconic oranges face disease and heat-driven stress. Even coffee, grown far beyond American borders, is becoming a climate casualty, raising prices and jeopardizing supply chains. This isn't just about food disappearing. It's about cost, availability, and access. The foods Americans take for granted today may become luxuries tomorrow. America's food landscape is on the move. As temperatures rise, growing zones migrate north. Crops once rooted in California may move to Oregon or even Washington. Midwestern states may take on new fruits once impossible to grow. And parts of Canada may become new breadbaskets for North America. In the Southwest, farmers look toward drought-tolerant options: tepary beans, agave, sorghum, millet. For the first time in modern history, climate, not preference, will determine regional cuisine. Every meal begins with water, but America's water system is under strain. Decades of overuse, combined with persistent drought, have pushed the Southwest into crisis. The Colorado River, lifeline to millions, can no longer keep up with demand. Without water, agriculture must transform. Fields that once grew thirsty crops shift to drought-resistant varieties. Technology becomes essential. Precision irrigation, moisture sensors, reclaimed water. In the future, food that requires less water won't just be sustainable, it will be necessary. Climate change doesn't follow a straight line. It arrives as chaos. Storms, once considered rare, now strike with regularity. Floods in the Midwest wipe out entire planting seasons. Hail destroys orchards prepared for everything except the unpredictable. These impacts reduce yields, raise prices, and ripple through the food system. As weather becomes more volatile, so too does the availability of basic foods. To build a resilient food system, scientists are revisiting forgotten crops. Millet, grown for thousands of years in Africa and India, thrives in heat. Sorghum grows with half the water of corn. Kernza, a revolutionary perennial grain, regenerates year after year without replanting. These crops are more than climate solutions. They may become the foundation of the American diet. Meat, central to American cuisine, is one of the most climate-sensitive industries. Rising feed costs, water scarcity, and heat stress on livestock push farmers toward new solutions. Plant-based meat expands rapidly. Insect protein emerges quietly but steadily. And cultivated meat, grown from cells, is entering commercial production. These alternative proteins aren't fantasy. They are part of a growing ecosystem that will feed millions. Farms of the future won't always look like fields. Some will be warehouses, stacking greens 20 levels high. Others will use robots to plant, harvest, and monitor crops. Technology helps compensate for shrinking land and harsher climates. Indoor farms produce lettuce in cities once considered food deserts. Robotic farms reduce labor shortages. AI irrigation saves water drop by drop. The American farm is entering a new era, one built on innovation. Climate change won't just affect farmers. It will reshape how all Americans eat. Expect more legumes, more ancient grains, more regional diets shaped by what grows successfully in each area. Expect more transparency, labels showing carbon footprints, water use, and environmental impact. And expect a cultural shift, food as a tool for resilience. Climate change affects everyone, but its impact is not equal. Low-income communities face higher food prices sooner. Urban neighborhoods with limited access may struggle as supply chains tighten. Yet across the country, movements are growing. Community gardens reclaim public space. Organizations deliver produce where supermarkets disappear. Schools feed the next generation with climate-friendly meals. The future of food must be fair and accessible. Some of the most transformative foods of the future don't grow in fields. Seaweed requires no land, no fresh water, and removes carbon from the ocean. Algae protein contains more nutrition per acre than any conventional crop. Gene editing tools like CRISPR create plants with resistance to heat, drought, and disease. These technologies represent new frontiers in feeding the world. The future of food will not be defined by scarcity. It will be defined by adaptation. America has the resources, creativity, and determination to transform its food system, to build resilience, to steward the land, to honor tradition while embracing innovation. Climate change will alter what we eat, but with foresight and action, it can also lead us toward a more sustainable, diverse, and nourishing food culture. The next American diet is just beginning.